back to my allotment. I wanted to have a quick word about raising seeds, sowing seeds, and the various different types. And I'm not going to tell you how it's done and the way to do it. I just want to share a few of my experiences, good and bad. First thing I've learned from trying to get seeds to grow at this time of year is that they need a constant temperature. So through February, my greenhouse was really quite warm, in the low 20 degrees centigrade in the daytime. But at night, because of the clear skies, it was dropping down to 0 or thereabouts. And that's no good for seed germination. Although it's nice and warm in the day, seeds need a constant, decent temperature in which to germinate, depending on which seed we're talking about. So I found I had quite sporadic and disappointing germination. So I've learned this year, and much to my wife's consternation, I've moved seeds indoors, because although temperatures fluctuate, they don't change as much as they do outside. So I've had much more success this year with germination. Certain things like broad beans here, they're not too fussed, they'll germinate in low temperatures. But other things, more sensitive seeds, they need that constant temperature, and so I'm having a lot more luck. The other thing is space is a premium. I'm in a very small house with a very small garden, and although I've got a lot of space up here, it's not usable for seed germination. So space is of a premium, and I've learned in the past, I've used these module trays and I've put 1 or 2 seeds per module, and so in this, that's gone. In this seed tray there are 40 modules, so I'd get 40 plants. However, watching things like Charles Dowding and Steve's Seaside Allotment and Cliff on Castle Hill Garden, I have slowly absorbed their information, and so for example here I've multi-sown in this tiny little tray some Lolo Rossa lettuce and some little gem lettuce, and I don't know how many plants I've got there, but there's got to be I don't know, 30 plants in this tiny little tray, and they'll be pricked out into these modules, and some of them will be direct sown, and therefore I've got a lot more plants in a much smaller space. The same here with these radish. I've multi-sown 4 or 5 seeds in each module, and they have all come up very successful. And as the plant, and I'll transplant those into these raised beds today hopefully, and as they grow, the radish grow apart, so they're not constricting each other in growth. And the same here with these spring onions, which I have never had success with before, and yet here they are multi-sown and growing away nice. And these are all going in my cold frames today up the allotment, so they're out of the way of Cheryl in the house, so that I can keep a happy marriage. The only exception to this is my onion sets, which I have a lot more success with starting off again in the greenhouse, and because they've got nice green tops, I know that underneath in the soil they've got a good root run, and when I put them in the ground, although the ground is still quite wet and cold, these will be fine, and the weather now is going to be dry and start to warm up, I hope, and so they'll grow away. If I put them in just as sets as they are out of the packet, I wouldn't have anywhere near this success. The broad beans, there are a few that haven't come up, but you know, I'm still hopeful, and I have a lot of success with these in the toilet roll inners, so that they're not wasted, and they need a nice long root run, which they get in these toilet rolls, and these will go in the ground, toilet roll inners and all, and they'll be fine. So that's everything about the seeds. I'm sure there are people out there with much more experience, and if you've got any tips, please pass them on in the comments. The other thing, which is what I'm going to do today, and I'm going to have immense fun doing it, which is really rather sad. I've bought myself a load of brackets, and I'm going to kit out the shed. It's a man thing really. I like to be able to put each tool in its own place, and I'm really looking forward to that, and that is really quite sad. I need to get more of a life, but the secret of a happy life is to be easily pleased. Therefore I have a happy life. I better go and get that lid now. just want to blow my own trumpet for a minute, because if I don't blow it, nobody will. Last year, I've had the allotment 2 years, and last year, Kitchen Garden magazine, which I can thoroughly recommend, ran a competition. I think they run it every year, for the passionate plotter. And I thought, well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. So I entered the competition, answered their questions, sent in some photographs, and lo and behold, I won it. I was absolutely thrilled. Not least of all with the nearly £1,000 worth of gardening tools and prizes. But then this February they ran an article on my allotment. So here it is. I mean, it's a bit late now, you can't get the magazine, I'm sure. Not that you'd want to, but I've featured 3 pages in the magazine, and I was absolutely chuffed. Further to that, the editor, Steve, got in touch with me and asked me if I'd take part in a trial, or not so much a trial, a review of some seeds. King's Seeds, another plug, Steve sent the free seeds from King Seeds to me and asked me to grow. There we are. To grow some of these, a variety of seeds: peas, butternut squash, sweet corn, radish, a wide variety, to grow them on my allotment, and send in a few photographs and let him know what I thought of the seeds and eventually the food. So that's what I'm going to do. These will go on my allotment, all of them. I'll take photographs and I will send Steve periodic updates, and I look forward to doing it. I've already started some of them in the greenhouse, and I'll share them with you. So King Seeds and Kitchen Garden magazine, which I now buy. After all this bad wind and rain, although it is still windy, it is a glorious morning on the allotment. I don't have that much to do, I just love being up here. Middle of March, and it's time to plant my first early potatoes. I'm doing 2 batches. I'm doing 1 lot in these tubs. 5 of these tubs have gone in at home in the garden, and I've just placed the tubs on the ground as normal, and let's see how they do. I've put 2 in each of those tubs, 2 potatoes. I haven't got enough for 2 in these here at the allotment, but I've got 5 tubs. I'll do exactly the same as I've done in the garden, but these will be buried to about there in the garden, in the soil. And because there are holes here, I'm hoping the roots will make their way out and use the goodness of the soil as well as what's in the tub. And I'd like to see if it makes a difference in yield to the stuff that I grow in the garden. So we'll see. So first of all, I've put in some well-rotted manure, and I've filled that to about there. Next, I put in a little bit of last year's tomato compost. I only want 3 or 4 chits on the top, so I'll rub off the others. And then I'm putting 2 in each tub. and we'll see what happens. I've got a bit of fish blood and bone. Get some of that in there. Add a bit of richness. Okay, labelled. First early swift. I think about 100 days from now we'll be eating potatoes. Let's hope. I'll do the other 4 and I'll come back to you. Okay, that's all 5 in. Should be ready about the 1st of July. Grow.